But turn around, Aaliyah Boston miss a, or she get the ball and she can't. It's a whole nother story. That same crowd. I said, hold on. The switch up. Keep that same energy, bro.
Hey, Michelle.
What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Top of the day. I'm recording this at like 6 a.m. I was just kind of feeling it. This is a video I even had an idea of last night, watching the game, the Indiana game, the end of that Indiana-Seattle, right after the Western Conference Finals. I'm blanking out. My bad, y'all. So the big talk of last night and kind of the big talk of this season so far in the WNBA was, Charles Barkley. He went up on TNT and he essentially said, full transparency, I didn't watch the clip, but from based off the caption and everybody's reaction, I ain't even mean to rhyme there, but it seemed like Charles, he essentially said, like, y'all need to stop being so mean to Caitlin Clark. And yeah, and I thought the reaction from everybody was fairly appropriate. Anyways, like getting straight to the point of this video, I think it brings about a greater point beyond Caitlin Clark, because obviously I'm gonna just pick this up, bro. Because beyond Caitlin Clark, I think the obvious thing here in my past couple of years, voicing my opinion more publicly as it was going on about women's basketball and, I guess women's sports in general, there's like this underlying thing within society of, I don't know if it's because of just general kind of traditional, the thing that's been beat into our subconscious about gender and things of that nature. I'm not sure if that's the case, but there's always kind of this undertone of, watch how you speak about these ladies, watch how you speak about these women, watch how you speak about these humans in women's sports, as opposed to men's sports. Anything goes, right? So example, Kwame Brown, great example of number one pick, didn't work out. Michael Jordan picked him. And, for the rest of Kwame's career, he was just the butt of the joke in the NBA. Even to this day, like, he had to literally go live nonstop for an entire month. And he still goes live like 24/7 on YouTube whenever he's up, just sharing his opinion and thoughts on different things. But, especially 30 days consecutively, and he was getting probably like 100,000 views on every video, going back and forth with Matt Barnes and the guys at All the Smoke, Steven Jackson, those guys, pretty much just defending his name and bullying the bullies until the point where the bullies didn't want to say anything on him anymore because he was just speaking so much. I'm going to put this back down, guys. So, yeah. That was 20 years of Kwame Brown being the butt of the joke and being, bullied and called anything under the sun just because he didn't play up to the quote-unquote expectation that people would usually have on a number one pick, especially when Michael Jordan's making that pick. And he played with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. He got a lot of the same flack when he went to the Lakers and was playing with Kobe. And another example, kind of more recent, Lonzo Ball, 2017, getting drafted number 2 by the Lakers after his father said he going to play for the Lakers. I'm going to speak it into existence. My boy is better than Steph. My boy is going to be better than LeBron eventually. He was saying all these things coming into the league, and he had so much hype on him. And Zoe kind of got off to a slow start in his career. He wasn't necessarily trash. He just got off to a slow start. He just had to. He changed the mechanics of his shot early on. Everything he did, even in the summer league, was hyped up. He packed out the summer league in Vegas because of, LeVar and that entire family and stuff like that. And it was just, like, you had to be there 2017. Like, it was just, the air is different and stuff like that. Like, I have videos of, even just following like JBH House and stuff like that on this channel from back in 2018 and stuff like that. So I say all of this to say, and my LeVar Ball interview from like 2021 is on this channel as well. So I say all of these things to say people didn't show Lonzo Ball grace when he struggled coming out the gate. People didn't show Kyle Kuzma grace when he struggled, or even when he struggles now. People don't give Jordan Poole grace when he struggles. People don't give, and I'm using basketball because basketball is the main thing I watch. But, you know, even if you wanted to go into other things, people don't give Juju Schuster grace after he dances on TikTok. People don't give the boy from Duke that paints his nails and wears the bonnets and makes the TikToks and stuff like that. People don't give him any type of grace to say that he, you know, struggles. People don't give Jason Tatum any grace when he struggles. The dude on TikTok that looks like him that dances. People don't give, you know, I could go down the list, but you guys get the point. Jamal Murray, like when Jamal Murray struggles, it's the dude on TikTok that, you know, does like this and, you know, whatever, his travel vlogs or whatever he does on TikTok. You know, I say this to say, like, there's no feeling spared. There's no great, like, it gets ugly, bro, when it comes to professional male athletes. So why is it any different or just like over the top when a shade or a fraction or, you know, 2/10 or something like that of that criticism, that same energy is, you know, on the women's side? Like, on the women's side, you know, people make it seem like it's the worst thing in the world. And at the end of the day, it's just the nature of sports. It's trash talk. It's this, is that. And then, you know, you talk about, you know, kind of the way that she's being played. A lot of people are saying, a lot of people being, you know, folks like Jeff Teague on his pod. And I love Club 520. I love the Jeff Teague podcast. It's funny, bro. Like, being from Atlanta, growing up with Jeff Teague as the point guard or whatever for many of my formative years as a person and stuff like that, you know, I'm like all for it. But, you know, that was one of the more problematic things, ironically, that they said, because they say some out-of-pocket stuff on that pod just in general, and it hits for comedic effect a lot of the time. But this whole let Caitlyn cook because she's good for y'all's league and she's getting y'all this and she's getting y'all that. Like, first of all, we have to say the private jets, WNBA players won't get in private jets before Caitlyn Clark. That's false. That's false. That's not true. That's not true. WNBA players and WNBA teams were doing private flights and chartered flights and stuff like that on special occasions. Different type of things. These were discussions that the WNBA was having for probably at least since about 2015, and I felt like it was really starting to make some movement after the Wobble season in 2020. So you're saying 2021 leading up to now, he's been discussions, and the WNBA's been, you know, kind of giving more money to chartered flights, where a couple of years ago in the playoffs, it was like, okay, for the semifinals and for the finals, you know, you guys are gonna have chartered flights. This was already established. These are things already going on. I remember the New York Liberty, they got in, I think, trouble a couple years ago for charter flights. And then the Vegas Aces, I remember their owner, you know, Mark Davis and stuff like that. He was really fighting to get them charter flights and stuff like that and doing everything in his power he could. Then the league got mad at Mark Davis for, you know, proposing such a preposterous idea. And then what happened after that? The city of Las Vegas said, yo, we're going to give y'all $100,000 each player on this team, $100,000 each, courtesy of the city of Vegas for all the money that y'all put into the city. Now the league is investigating that. And it's just like, all right, bro, y'all folks is hating on Vegas because Vegas got the facilities. Vegas has a locker room. Vegas has its own home arena. And then they move into the bigger arena on certain occasions and certain games and things of that nature. They pack out the city. They don't have an NBA team. The Raiders suck. You know what I mean? So it's like the Aces and the Golden Knights are two teams that the city really embraces over there. And they have something to cheer for because of those two teams. So they do bring a lot of money, and Asia Wilson has become just like one of the staples of the city. When you go over there, it's kind of like New York. I feel like New York and probably Vegas are, ironically, very ironically, that those are the two cities, but two cities where like it's not weird or it wasn't looked at as different with WNBA support for real, because folks support the Aces out in Vegas, and folks in New York definitely rock with the Liberty even before this season and stuff like that. Like I said, I went to a game last year, a regular season game against the Washington Mystics, and it was rocking in there. I say this a lot on the channel, so I'm sorry if you already know this and you're a subscriber, but if you're new to the channel, this is the Road to 5K. So I say all of these things to say Caitlin Clark is a grown woman. All right, let's pull this up here. Let's pull this up. Caitlin Clark is 22 years old. I'm going to pick this back up, y'all. Caitlin Clark is 22 years old. She made a conscious decision. She could have either returned for a fifth season thanks to COVID, to go to the WNBA. I mean, to make some more money at Iowa. I think Fox Sports said they were going to give her FS1 said they were going to give her like $20 million to stay at Iowa because she made them so much money for the Big Ten Network and everything like that, or just the big Saturday games and stuff. Caitlin Clark had every right, every reason to want to stay at Iowa, stay in college, and make some more money or whatever the case might be. And Ponytail Pete, I never heard that. I've never heard this nickname, by the way. She decided to go to the WNBA. She said it was time for the next level. Angel Reese, when she was being asked, she said it's time to go to the WNBA. It's time for the next step. I want to be challenged. I'm ready to be a rookie again. I'm ready to be at the bottom and work my way back up to the top of the league. I want to face better competition. This is what Angel Reese said. And Caitlin Clark, she just kind of left it at a more surface level. It's time to me to move on to take the next step. And I always wanted to play in the WNBA, so I say these things to say she made a conscious decision to go to the WNBA for a reason, because she wanted a bigger challenge. Now, don't complain when the bigger challenge is a challenge. I think Caitlin is going to be just fine. And I think anybody that watches basketball and anybody that has followed Caitlin's career through her 4 years at Iowa knows that she's going to be just fine. She's averaging nearly 18 points a game, and it's crazy her field goal percentage is 40%, because it feels like it's about 30 or 20% if you watch the games. But after all of that, playing poorly for the most part, she's still averaging nearly 18 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds a game on 40% shooting. You know what I mean? So it's like she's shooting the ball. I can't say she's shooting the ball not that bad, because she is. I mean, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, for someone who's playing poorly, she's still putting up decent numbers. She's going to be just fine. The way that they're playing her, yes, she's being guarded a bit tighter, but I think that's out of respect, and that's the pros. It's the pros, bro. At the end of the day, I don't even need to be making this video, bro. She a grown woman. She's 22 years old, bro. Yes, you're going to get guarded toughly in the WNBA. If you putting up 40 points doing this and celebrating and you on every commercial, you're going to get guarded tighter. Guess what? In the NBA, it's the same thing. Anthony Edwards put 40 on your head. He lead the comeback in Denver in Game 7. Hit the 3. They called a timeout. He point to the white man and call him the N-word. And he go in the post game and say, no. He go in the hallway before he go to the post game and say, I locked up Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray ain't nothing. Then he go in the post game and say, F them 9 years. Charles Barkley, bring it. He do all this and then dance on his way out and say, we here in Minnesota, baby. Yeah, we doing it, Timberwolves. You don't think that that the Dallas Mavericks gonna guard them tightly game 1 the next series? It's a part of sports. It's what it is, bruh. Because you know what? Just like how you watch the game as a fan, them players watching the games as fans, and they sit back, and when they see you shrug, and when they see you going off for 40, 50, you know what they're saying? Oh, shoot, they not about to do that on me. If y'all know the classic Ball is Life video in high school, I don't know if it was at the Jordan Classic, the McDonald's All-American, whatever it was. It's a classic video. It's like maybe Nas Reed is in there. No, I don't think. Nas Reed's a different class. My bad. It is Trendon Watford. I don't know who else was in there in that class, but Anthony Edwards. I know it's Trendon Watford and Anthony Edwards for sure in there. Said, toughest player you had to guard. Trendon Watford says Cam Reddish. And then somebody else says Cam Reddish. And then somebody else. And then Anthony Edwards says Cam Reddish. And then Trendon says, see, everybody gonna say Cam. He said, Cam done gave everybody in here 40. And Ant said, he didn't give me 40. He said, but the person who was guarding him, though, he gave him 40. And then that's the end of the video. You think if you see that video, I mean, he just said it. I'm sorry. I'm going all around the world. And just said it in that video, bro. He said he ain't giving me 40. It's a pride thing. Defense is a pride thing. DeJounte said defense is a pride thing. DeJounte Murray. It was ironic because he gave up 73 points to Luka Doncic, which is crazy. I would have fouled out DeJounte if you had that much pride. I would have fouled out. That's just me personally. But, you know, I say all of these things to say, bro, it's competitive nature. It's the nature of sport. The fact that you even have to explain this, and the only reason why I think it's this way is because we're talking about professional women athletes. That's the only reason why I think we're even talking about this right now. It's because she's a woman. This is women's sports. And for some reason, we're supposed to coddle the women and be careful with them and be, you know, let's let them down easily. And let the criticism be this. At the end of the day, sports is sports, right? We want to watch sports. We want to enjoy sports. We want to talk smack. We want to have the people that we love to watch. We want to have the people that we love to hate. We want to have the people that you know, we're in between, indifferent about. Right now in the NBA, bro, I'm going to let y'all know right now, man. Out of the teams, my agenda already been destroyed. I thought Denver was going to win it all. Going into the playoffs, before the playoffs, in the middle of the season, I thought the Clippers had a chance because they had all four guys. You know, James Harden was doing his little thing, hitting it, hitting threes, getting fouled, hitting 4 threes in a row, and Indiana screaming at the camera. I said, oh, these boys might have it this year. They're all from L.A., these boys might get it done this year. We get to playoff time. The Clippers already fell off by that point. I'm like, okay, I think Denver's going to repeat. I don't see anybody beating Denver, including Boston, in the finals. Didn't happen. Denver blows a 20-point lead in like the fourth quarter of Game 7 at home, which is just insane choke job by Jokic and the boys, man. Insane choke job by Jokic and the boys. But, you know, okay. So who's left? Indiana. Folks be trying to compare Halliburton too much to Trey and say that Halliburton's better than Trey. That's recency bias to the fullest. Trey is definitely better. You have Boston. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I ain't never liked Boston or the Boston Celtics. I just ain't never liked them, bro. It's like the Boston Celtics and the New Orleans Saints, two teams, two franchises I just do not like. Shout out to JB. Shout out Jaylen Brown, man. Mob County. At the end of the day, I do not like the Boston Celtics, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Just in general, bro. And then the third team, the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas Mavericks, like I said, I do think Luka, you know, has been performing, you know what I'm saying, slightly better than Trey, but it's not that far. The gap isn't that far. I think they're in the same ballpark. They're pretty much kind of like the same player. Luka's just taller, which gives him the edge and stuff like that. I say this to say, if Luka won a championship, you thought it was bad when Luka was scoring 73 in Atlanta. That ain't gonna get ugly for Atlanta for a long, long time. I don't know what Trey would have to win like 5, 6 in a row or something like that, or 2 in a row, 3 in a row or something to make people forget that Luka, won first or anything like that. But yeah, it's gonna be a long summer for Trey and just like the city of Atlanta in general if Luka gets the championship first. I say these things to say like that's what sports is about, bro. At the end of the day, that's what sports is about, bro. Like, you like some people, you hate some people. And speaking of hate, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, bro. A lot of the people that's riding for Caitlyn and things of that nature and saying, I'll protect Caitlyn. You're so mean to Caitlyn. Oh, you hate Caitlyn. Oh, it is. I don't know if y'all know, but for this title and for this video, I guarantee you it's going to be a white person in Iowa that call me a monkey. I guarantee you, because I made this video with this title, it's going to be a random white person that I do not know who going to call me a monkey. It might be in my DMs. It might not be in the comments because YouTube might filter out the comments. Google might filter out the comments. But it's going to be in my DMs on Twitter or X. So, ironically, the people who are like, oh, protect Caitlin Clark. Why do they play Caitlin like this? This is unfair. You need to let her score so the WNBA continue to grow and continue to do this and continue to make money and continue to make progress. You can say that. Those same people on Angel Reese. Those same people on Aaliyah Boston. Aaliyah Boston, folks, man. Aaliyah Boston, like, Aaliyah Boston. Why the heck, Aaliyah Boston? Aaliyah Boston, Aaliyah Boston. Y'all talking real nasty to Aaliyah Boston for someone who cares about protecting the woman and being cautious of the way that you cover and speak in female professional athletes. It's protect women. Make sure women are okay. You can't speak that way about her. You can't play defense on Caitlin. How dare you play defense on Caitlin Clark? How dare you play defense on Caitlin Clark? She's the golden child. Of course, you'll say anything to discredit Caitlin Clark. You hate women. And you're a racist. And a monkey. But turn around. Aaliyah Boston miss a... Or she get the ball and she can't... It's a whole nother story. That same crowd. I said, hold on. The switch up. Keep that same energy, bro. That might need to be the new title of the video. Keep that same energy. Keep that same... I don't even know where to go, but... Keep that same energy is the point that I'm trying to say, bro. Whether you're talking about keeping that same energy with the way that you discuss the criticism of female athletes versus male athletes, keep that same energy whether you're discussing one player versus another player. Because all you're doing, I feel like, is just proving people's point. Say, Caitlyn has so many haters. Caitlyn has so many doubters. So many people want to see Caitlyn fail. So many people. Are you looking at the discourse around Caitlin Clark? The discourse around Caitlin Clark from probably the end of junior year, especially all the way up through here, right, has been, okay, we appreciate the coverage of Caitlin Clark and the general attention to the sport. What we don't like is the way that they're portraying that Caitlyn is the only good player here. You know, she goes to the W. There's going to be plenty of great players around her that she's competing against and competing with. And you seen the against. We haven't really seen the win. I ain't going to lie to you. What, they 0-5? But salute to the Indiana Fever. They're like an extremely young team. They cut all of their vets last year and kept all the first, second year players, and it's showing this year. You know what I mean? So that's just what's going on. This is kind of like what it was expected, with such a young team. They have to learn how to win in the WNBA. They're playing against grown women every single night. And Caitlin struggling was a bit expected just based off of like kind of the general transition from Iowa to here. And then also just the competition they've been playing up until last night against Seattle. It's been nothing but like some of the top teams and everything like that they've been facing. Going back here, hold on, let me pull this up as we close this video out, and I'll let y'all go about y'all day. Connecticut. It's the first 4 games have been against Connecticut and the New York Liberty, bro. Those are 2 of the top 3 teams in the league. For those of you who are new to the WNBA. So, I mean, and New York was considered a super team last year. So, I say all of this to say what is going on was pretty much expected if you watch the WNBA going into this. The Indiana Fever are going to be better than this. They won't be as bad, but they won't be, like, just sensational. You guys saw the game went to the buzzer last night because they faced a team with 1 win going into the night in Seattle. So, this is kind of expected. They'll be a little better as the year goes on. But Caitlin's going to be just fine. I say by the Olympic break, she's going to find her groove and stuff like that. They play a few, like, lower tier teams and stuff like that. She'll be fine. But, yeah, I say all of this to say keep that same energy and look yourself in the mirror, bro. The next time you want to talk about someone who's talking about Caitlin Clark, look at yourself in the mirror. Because the second that Aaliyah Boston can't do something, you up there calling Aaliyah Boston every name under the sun except for a child of God. The second that anybody in the league does something that isn't, commendable or honorable, you calling that person everything under the sun except for a child of God. It's not just exclusive to Caitlin Clark. Y'all make it seem that way, and y'all flip it into, ironically, a race thing when people point out that race has something to do with the coverage and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And y'all flip it into a race thing, ironically, when you point out that the people who talk about Caitlin Clark are race baiters. Like I said, I'm already prepared for y'all to call me a monkey on X. So y'all have a good day. My name is Rashad Milligan. If you're new to the channel, this is the road to 5K subs. What a start to the season. Peace.